Evening and welcome back to my Dwarven Fortress of Esmulrakust, where my volume is set far too low. One moment. Is that better? Good evening. That's better. Right, now you can hear me properly. Where were we? Yes. We'd had a disastrous, well, a kind of disastrous elven ambush in that they killed a very large number of our dogs. So we're now going to try to get the kennels reinforced to the point where the next time the elves turn up, they won't be able to kill everything that's in there. And I think they also killed a couple of dwarves as well. So we should probably try to provide better means for the dwarves to, I don't know, be protected. I think maybe, I'm not sure. Also, I'm going, why have we dug out a cave there? We try not to dig out caves mostly. Maybe we should do something about that. Where am I? Yes. So, because usually I try to do most of my mining in an open cast sort of fashion rather than by digging tunnels, and clearly we've done that there. Possibly we should just wipe out this entire hump here, because that would probably make the fortress a little bit more defensible. But I'd have to be quite careful because it is quite easy to accidentally cause cave-ins while doing that kind of game. So that row actually is already trimmed down, but then we would want to cut from there forwards, wouldn't we? Which is currently some furrowed silk loam. Yeah, let's do some of that, make it more open here. Avoid providing platforms for people to attack us from. So, yes, we don't currently have very many dogs because they all got killed. We do have a breeding pair now. Well, two adult females, which will provide us with at least some more puppies, which we can eventually train for war. But like, I want at least 20 or 30 before we start actually thinking about sending them to attack anyone. So if you put a hatch cover over a... No, I don't think it does work. I was going to say, if you put a hatch cover over a rubbish dump, does it do people automatically open it? And I don't think they do. But I am slightly worried about this rubbish dump because it's like... I mean, I think it was a good idea, but it has the danger that we might end up dodging into it and then having an embarrassing falling into a trash compactor sort of incident. So I'm thinking maybe I want to have a lever-controlled floor hatch over it, so that we can uncover it only when we actually want to use it. I don't think it's much different making it a lever-controlled bridge. I think those can be demolished now by invaders. Let's stick a hatch cover on there, and then we could attach a lever to it for use only when we actually need to drop things in there. So yeah, I think I think it's probably reasonable to keep this as my kennel, but if I'm going to do that, we need to have it better defended, which might mean it needs its own moat. I mean, we could do that mostly by extending the existing moat. I mean, or I suppose we put a wall in front of it here and then have like a drawbridge that comes out and connects it to another drawbridge. I suppose it could have a drawbridge that runs over the moat this way, couldn't it? That would work all right, would it? It might have to be two bridges, one of which folds down out of the... I suppose it could just connect up to this drawbridge, or we could have a drawbridge that comes out this way or something, and a little one that folds up into this wall. That might work. So essentially it wouldn't go out here anymore, it would come out here. Though Dizzy says, be careful not to make it easier for those enemy siege engineers. Yeah, point. Yes, well, I mean, it's only going to be opened. I think we're not going to actually lower that drawbridge unless we're at the point where we're mopping up and we want to release the hounds to help with the mopping up. Like, even a very large number of war dogs is not actually a useful fighting force against more than a couple of creatures. So we're not going. So the drawbridge will be raised, except when I'm actually trying to release them. But there is an argument for not making it easy to get at both the drawbridge that lets you get at the kennels and the drawbridge that lets you get at the fortress, because obviously it's much more important to protect the dogs because they're not behind the traps. Maybe I think I might have worked out what I should do then, which is not to reuse these kennels, but to have the kennels connected up to the barbican, because my dogs can of course dodge all of these traps anyway, and we usually have that front door open, so we could have like the access to the kennels come out somewhere at the back of the barbican. May require a bit of fairly careful routing to sneak a passageway out of here. I mean, this slightly depends on the dogs actually doing what I want them to do. So I think we want to have it at the back end of the barbican. Now that's slightly fiddly because someone has gone and built a bunch of other structures here that we need to get around. We could come out here and then sneak back here and have a space here that would be the kennel. Or we could have the kennel, I suppose, on a different floor and then stairs down. Yes, I have. Yeah, then departed and then rejoined. So, yes. How can we thread ourselves in here then? And I'm thinking I don't actually want to open up too much space behind the barbican though, because behind it, this area is meant to be mostly solid rock, so that it's difficult to dig through. He says, noticing vast amounts of it that aren't solid rock, so that it's somewhat defended from the rest of the fortress. No, Ben, you can't have the kennel 2 floors above the barbican with a hatch in the bottom that just drops all of the dogs into the barbican. That's 2 Z levels of fall. It will hurt them. And this Z level is obviously busy. Though we could like have, Seb says, trampoline. Yeah, we can't actually make trampolines. We can make things less harmful, but the problem is that the barbican is really meant to be harmful. It's full of weapon traps, which is fine as long as the dogs are not stunned, but if we drop them into it, they might turn out to be stunned. And like, we don't want them too overcrowded. I am coming up with a sort of an idea which involves having, like, we've got these convenient corridors up here anyway. We could have a means of dropping the dogs in from up here into a space here, and then a stairway down into the back end of the barbican, that they would then go down to get out. I mean, the thing is, I kind of want to make sure that they come out more or less all at once. If they like dribble out one at a time, that's going to be inconvenient. So I suppose another possibility, that would be, I'm like thinking, what if I had a bridge that lowered from here across the entrance passageway, because then it could be 3 wide and they could all charge out at once, but it would be quite hard for anyone to get at because they'd have to build a bridge inside that ramp. But the problem with that is it does then block the entrance to the fortress. I suppose we could make it 2 wide, so we'd still leave an entrance into the barbican. And like, I don't think we're in much danger of people trying to tunnel in through this area. Okay, let's. I think that's a suitably mad approach. So I think I want to first lower this area slightly. I mean, yes, yes, we are kind of trying to stop people getting in, but we're also at the point where we're trying to let the dwarves out to. We might want to let the dwarves out to slaughter people, and so completely sealing the fortress might not be what we're aiming for. I mean, maybe it is. Probably going to be a while before we actually do anything about this anyway. Don't think that can cause a cave-in. We will see, though. That just feels like an awkward little upward ramp there. Let's remove that upward ramp just for elegance. Right. So I should see whether dumping of... I've just marked a couple of teeth. Not those ones, though. A couple more teeth for dumping. I should just see if they accidentally end up sitting on top of this floor hatch. Right, so now we don't have this random little tunnel being a tunnel anymore. Right, so let's see where these people who are dumping those teeth put them. Right, yes, they've just placed them on top of that floor hatch, which is not the most helpful thing ever until we have a lever that operates it. I mean, we'll probably keep it open most of the time. Oh, I'm out of mechanisms again. Oh, the forgotten beast, Pabos Boradoto, has come. A great skinless toad. It has a curling trunk, and it has a bloated body. Beware its poisonous vapours. There it is. Elevation 25, which is around a level where we actually have some stuff. Right, let us dispatch some dwarves down there for defence purposes. and probably we were so keen about getting dogs into our kennels that we even removed the two that live down here. That's not right. Maybe don't do that while we're expecting a forgotten beast. No, let's do it anyway. Oh, or do I? No. Well, yes, let's mark them as doing that, and then we'll make it impossible. Is that going to be sensible? Well, we'll see what happens. Oh, maybe what I should do actually is to... Can I, like, label... If I go to a dog here, can I then... If we just go guard dog, stray guard dog tame, and I could do that to another one. Maybe give him a capital G. Maybe spell... Okay, I just can't... Pause. Pause! Sorry, some stuff has happened because I was accidentally unpaused while labelling the dogs. Stray guard D. Stray guard D space because I was trying to pause. Dizziot observes that we are surprisingly low on meat and not drowning in drink. Well, yes, we mostly live on cheese and vegetables. Meat is, like, dwarves can survive perfectly well on cheese. The drink it's better than it was. It's definitely going up. We were down at the, like, 100 or 200. Right, so now we could... Now when we assign a dog to this chain, we can actually deliberately assign... Okay, I've accidentally labelled them slightly differently as well. So now we will not accidentally stick those into the kennel, and they will live down here instead where they're meant to be. So where is that forgotten beast now? There, quite close to the fortress. Possibly we don't need the dogs there to tempt it for now. Let's close the lower Barbican inner bridge. I think we want to kill this forgotten beast if possible. So I hope the bolt throwers will be up to it, and the poisonous vapours aren't very poisonous. well, bolt throwers are very highly effective. It's just occurred to me I could do the thing with the game log, couldn't I? So yes, the Forgotten Beast got shot repeatedly. Mostly I'm looking through here to see if it did actually breathe any, produce any poisonous vapours. But no, I think it just absorbed an awful lot of crossbow bolts. So I think we don't have to worry too much about anyone having been poisoned by it. Did we actually? Yes, we did even manage to close the inner drawbridge. Right, I did consume all of the crossbow bolts in those 2 bolt throwers, though. I presume you're now desperately loading the thing. Yes, right. So yes, there are meant to be a pair of war dogs down here whose major purpose is to frighten away small creatures that sneak in through the from the caverns, so that they don't cause trouble. But they are apparently missing because probably I went and reassigned them somewhere else, which is why I have now arranged for the for them to have a name. Wolf the mighty defender of the stairs, etc. Okay, I actually only need to have a job, yes. Not strictly to have names. So our mayor has decided to have a strange mood now. They seem currently to be quite happily collecting objects. Though why have we got a stoneworker's workshop up here? Oh, was that just for making? I think that was intended for the sole purpose of producing slabs. But they've decided to use that one rather than a more sensible one. It doesn't look like it's going to be a very exciting, very complicated, mysterious construction because it's only got about 4 ingredients. Right, so now I want to build a bridge that will close that way. Kind of tempted to open out this space a bit further. Like have an extra square here. I don't know why, but I think it's a good idea. This will, of course, at least temporarily disconnect the fortress from the outside world, which will annoy everyone. But we can correct that later. I kind of want to wall this, the old kennels off again, but on the other hand they do have some slightly useful objects in them, so maybe I don't know. Oh, I suppose it won't stop anyone getting into the fortress initially because they can go up this ramp, can't they? It'll stop wagons getting in briefly. But that's not a big problem. So I was also thinking about fields. So currently we have one functional field down here in the woodlands, but it has the problem that anyone tending it tends to end up having to risk running through the outside world in order to get into the fortress, and they thus end up running into enemies. So the question is, could we improve that? We do actually have a second farm plot here, which is a much more sensible location. So could we make a farm plot that's in some way usefully defended? So that anyone in there would have a way into the fortress. I'm not quite sure how you do that. Is anyone actually going to build this bridge? Like, maybe I shouldn't just be staring at the bridge hoping someone builds it. Oh, I should reconfigure the siege operators, shouldn't I? Back into non... Is there some reason why this milker should not be made a siege operator? I think there was. And whoever is currently mucking around with that siege engine should probably stop, because they're probably the wrong person to be doing it. Now, if I'm going to look for the person who's building the bridge, I should look up the bridge. Right, no one is yet working on building the bridge. A magnetite bracelet, which she offers to the incidental fortification. Help truths the stern snarls, which is a treasure of the incidental fortification. All craft ship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with rectangular magnetite cabochons and cushioned fire opal cabochons, decorated with tiger leather and encircled with bands of iron. The object menaces with spikes of magnetite. That's probably quite fun, really. Bands of iron, spikes of magnetite. Seb wants me to give it to a dog. I don't think I can do that. I can make it a thing that is you get for being having a particular office. So, like, I can make it a symbol of office of the Baron or something. But I don't think we can appoint a dog as any of these roles. I'm just wondering how close we can get to the fortress and still grow crops. Because anything that's part of the mountain, we can't. So like this meadow grass, which is admittedly quite sparse now, but down here would be allowed. I think anywhere where the plants are dead, and dead not just bare soil, might be interesting. I think probably we need to do something quite a bit cleverer. That passageway there does lead. Actually, that leads into the moat, which is not brilliantly helpful. Clearly, I thought that was a good idea at some point. We do not currently have a chief dog keeper. I mean, we don't have that many dogs at the moment. But there are now 2 of them properly chained up down in the lower entrance, waiting to chase out giant rats and gremlins and such like. And there's quite a big pool of blood, of forgotten beast blood from Pabos mine mirrors. Right, so why is no one building this bridge? I'm confused by this. I mean, I think it requires some skills or something, but I'm slightly confused because it doesn't seem like it should be that. Like, it's easy to get to. I haven't made it weirdly impossible to reach. I think, yes. It should be practically buildable. Yes, I'm not quite sure what to do about that. Oh, I should investigate who the two unhappy dwarves are and make sure we're happifying them. And maybe give them better bedrooms or something. This is an occasion when I could accidentally kill Dwarf Fortress since it has a force quit button there. Just click the wait button. Right. So yes, why is no one building that bridge? I'm confused. I don't think it should be difficult. And yes, if you're building a raising bridge, you do it with one overlap at the hinge end, which is what we have. Oh, I should find our pasture and assign the animal that wants pasturing to it, shouldn't I? So that it doesn't like starve to death before we slaughter it. Why are you not building this bridge? Don't understand. Am I asking you to build it from something that turns out to be impossible? I haven't accidentally locked us out from the objects you were meant to be building it with, have I? Oh, I was going to, once we got some mechanisms. I was going to add a lever to make it possible to... Oh! The Dr. Asfikot Rithol and Dr. Kerol Esmulrakust have married. Congratulations. Don't often get that message. Yes, so two of our siege operators are particularly unhappy. Tun Kalalokam and Ilral Udos Moses. Can I reassign the leader like this? No. Oh, yes. Ustuth and Fath. Ustuth Beh something and Fath Essis something. Are you? No, you're not actually a siege operator. You were just unhappy. Sorry, we put you in the wrong squad. How about you? You might not be interesting either. No. Again, you were just unhappy. You weren't a siege operator, even though siege operators are usually the unhappiest of people. Right. Right. That's still not being built. That's confusing. I'm going to cancel that and try building it out of a different material. And see if that makes it more likely to happen. I have this vague feeling that bridges turn out to be a bit annoying to build. So let's link that new lever to the rubbish dump hatch. And then we can open that, and it will usually be open unless we're trying to stop our own dwarves falling into it. Oh, look, we're not ready for you yet. I mean, like, quite seriously not ready for you. I'm going to have to do some rapid building work. A vile force of darkness has arrived. The army is commanded by the troll Vukar Coleraine. Beware their armoured elite mounted goblin lashers. I'm not very scared of lashers, frankly. With them come monstrous siege engineers and war cave dragon. A war cave dragon, I hope. From the dark goblin fortress of Jackalswelter. Okay, right. So the rapid bit of building I alluded to there is I'm going to slap some floor in there so that the new kennel isn't actually an entrance route into the fortress. Which means I want to temporarily make that part of the inside burrow so that someone can actually get to it. I should make sure everyone is actually assigned to the correct burrow, and I should activate that burrow. I should put all of the legendary siege operators into operating sieges mode, and I should have them do nothing else. That square is full of teeth. We should dispose of that enormous pile of teeth. Oh, right, yes. Because that's adjacent to one of the squares of the front entrance rubbish dump here. And so when I tell people to dump things, they either throw them down there or they throw them down here. Right, we should fix that, but not now. Actually now. Like, otherwise I won't remember. Right, there we go. Right, so also open the wagon bridge. Close the inner drawbridge. Stop practicing with that bolt thrower. Start firing those bolt throwers. You should cancel that task. Right. Is there anything else I need to do? I think I'm going to have to find my checklist. No, of course I can't find my... Oh, I don't appear to have any Emacs open. Okay. Don't think that's right. I think something has gone wrong there. Oops. Excuse me, I'm now faffing with things on the computer. And in particular going... we're not in a memory crunch just yet. Right. So... Oh, I should pause the pasture if it had anyone in it, but it doesn't. Don't quite know why it doesn't have anyone in it, but there you go. Everything else looks fine. Right, we can probably unpause. Have a quick look at any tasks that we really don't want to happen. That one we do want to happen. See, you can perfectly well construct other things, can't you? Just not the bridge I want. Just confirm there's no one like planting or anything. No, lots of jobs, no one's doing any of them. Excellent. Desperate attempts at getting the stop loading the practice bolt thrower. Why is there a fire bolt thrower job for the lower south bolt thrower? Have I done something wrong there? Yes, I have. So yes, the goblins are kind of spread out. Yes, often it's useful to look around here to see if anyone's mistakenly leaving the fortress. Oh, is that another place where we need to build a staircase for collecting spare crossbow bolts? So I know there are quite a lot of crossbow bolts in that square. Who are you and where were you going? Where were you? I hadn't worked out you were outside. Okay, someone has got close enough to the entrance. Oh, it's the dragon, right? Yes. They sent a cave dragon. It hasn't even managed to get into the fortress. Sorry, they sent 2 cave dragons. They haven't managed to get into the fortress. I'm a little concerned by the way that the wagon bridge hasn't opened. So the correct position of that should be to the right. It does actually have a task pending. Please pull that lever. It will be most annoying if you don't. In particular because the enemy have brought 3 cave dragons with them. Who is meant to be pulling that lever and where are they? Okay, have they actually pulled the lever now? Yes, good. Right, okay, I think we'll be all right. Right, the wagon bridge has retracted. Well, I think I'm going to close one of the front drawbridges as well, though. Because I think it will be better if they have to crawl in over a single width of drawbridge. We're currently busy reloading the bolt throwers. Right, oh no, a goblin was almost brave enough as to come into the fortress there. They're being a bit cautious and scared because so many goblins have died. Oh, here they come. Let's hope they don't work out how to clamber into the kennel, because we haven't actually sealed the kennel off yet. Is someone working on that? No, oh, it's got suspended. Right, let's unsuspend it in the hope that it might happen. Though it may be a bit of a problem because there's a load of goblins behind it. Maybe we actually need to seal the goblins out for a moment. in order to finish sealing that off. Yeah, let's raise the other drawbridge briefly so that we can make sure that they can't get in through the new entrance. This drawbridge is about to go twang anyway. Which is going to be amusing, I hope. Maybe I should look down into the Barbican where things are also happening. Okay, now I'm a bit confused because I thought we'd try to open both of these bridges. Oh, maybe we tried to open it while there was a cave dragon standing on it, and I think cave dragons might be so heavy you can't open bridges while they're standing on them. Both outer drawbridges are meant to be open. I mean, up. But one of them isn't. Let's just quickly pull its lever twice more. They do keep coming in and knocking down obsidian doors, but that's not an obsidian door and that's not an obsidian door. Where did they find an obsidian door to knock down? That's a bit worrying. Those two were never reinstated. Okay, let us attempt to locate Nguzlu Osnun Smumub. Oh right, you're trying to get into the mostly disused now guard tower, are you? Well, good luck. Oh no, the thing you knocked down was the access to the trash compactor. Well, I mean, okay, feel free to break into the trash compactor if you want. It will compact you very effectively. Oh, that goblin got to survive the closing of the drawbridge by being hurled into the fortress. I think possibly having gone into the fortress before, at least I think that's what happened to them. Maybe I'm confused. Anyway, we have raised the drawbridge largely so that it might be practical to finish building that floor. So I suspect that now... How is there a dead war cave dragon all the way up here? I suspect the troll siege engineers are going to turn up and start trying to construct a way across the gap that I've just made. But hopefully, in the meantime, someone will actually consider it to be their job to build that bit of floor. Okay, what? Why were you going that way? Oh right, I think it's being built out of a material that's in a really unhelpful position. Let's make it out of porcelain because I'm confident that will come from inside the fortress. I think the problem was that the blocks I was trying to make it from are like somewhere out here, which means that if you go and fetch the blocks, you can see out the front of the fortress and be scared by the goblins. So my hope is that now we'll make it out of a material that we can actually... It wasn't that they couldn't get to the correct location to build it. It was that they couldn't get to the correct location to pick up the items with which to build it. I am a little worried about what route the goblins are now going to take now that I've locked them out of the main entrance. I would much prefer them to be being predictable. Maybe I should actually be watching the main entrance rather than watching the mayor. Possibly I should be watching places that aren't the main entrance because they're the dangerous places. Where would that be, I wonder? Here comes the mayor with some porcelain bricks to fill in that hole. Okay. I don't know quite what happened to the goblin who tried to sneak into our guard tower. But they don't seem to be there anymore, and there is one dead goblin in that passageway, so that's okay. Right, now we have a floor in here, so even if the troll siege engineers build a route into the new kennels, there isn't any danger that they'll be able, or at least they will then have to tunnel out of there into the fortress. So let's lower the outer drawbridge again so as to encourage the goblins to take a sensible route, because otherwise they are likely to try to find a new way in. Whereas now there's this lovely tempting bridge for them to use. That's quite a lot of enemies. I'm genuinely slightly concerned that our traps may not actually be able to absorb this many goblins. There's a lot of siege engineers there and miners. We may have to abandon that bolt thrower. Considering abandoning it now before, because like that lot surely are trying to break through that wall. Yes, I think we should take advantage of the fact that we have a way of abandoning a bolt thrower now. Upper north bolt thrower, abandon. Dwarf, who is currently loading that bolt thrower, upper north bolt thrower, stop loading it. Why have you not stopped loading it? Stop it. I got that wrong somehow. Upper north bolt thrower should not be loaded. Easy way to make sure it doesn't get loaded. Forbid it. Well, I thought that was going to stop you loading it. Right, you have stopped loading it. What are you doing then? You have no job. I would like it if you could have no job somewhere else. Oh right, you've now decided that you're going to stand there and take pot shots at things with your that's not appropriate, with your crossbow. No, you're not. You're going to leave. Who are you? You're Lorbam Fathfash. You are not a siege operator. Stop operating sieges. Get scared, please. No, you've decided you're in a fight now, have you? Right, good. I think we now want to edit this burrow to remove that section of corridor. Then, like, ideally we would cancel. I think that might actually have done the right thing anyway. Dizzyet has asked, why do you have an invader tunneling lounge anyway? Well, it was the kennels where we were keeping the hounds to be released, and I hadn't quite got round to walling it in. We're going to have to fix that. Right, let's pull the lever, since they've just broken through that wall, so we timed that pretty well. Let's pull the lever that will isolate that from everything else. Right, operate the north bolt thrower access lever, and while we're here, lock that door. All being well, everyone will get off that bridge before it opens, but... Right, now the bridge can open. Someone is about to pull the lever. For some reason, the siege engineers are not immediately charging in there. Oh, here they come, finally. Clonk. Objects fall to the ground. Siege engineers go, what? Which is as it should be. The floor down here is now covered in crossbow bolts because everyone dropped the crossbow bolts that they were delivering. Happily, our remaining front bolt thrower is doing all right, and the weapon traps are still working, even if this one is like in the process of being reloaded again. So I think that was that door getting knocked down. That's fine. That one keeps getting knocked down. So some goblins are trying to come in through this entrance. What are they doing there then? Because like it's mostly a way of accessing the Barbican. Which is still a pretty good place to die. That ramp should not lead anywhere. Why is there no one staffing this bolt thrower? Okay, there is someone whose job it is. Right, it's just a shift change, that's fine. Okay, that might be a problem. Yeah, someone actually got in here with a bow and shot at our siege engineer. Mostly not very dangerously. Like they're still, I think, capable of operating a siege engine. But this is a bit alarming. So do we seal off that area and force them to engineer their way through, I think. So let's pull the lever to seal off the one-way door. Because I think the goblins are getting too far through the Barbican. Namely, through the Barbican. I'm going to temporarily lock the door to doors to the hospital. We do have an injured siege engineer there, but we've got two doctors in the hospital. Surely that's enough. And I don't want the goblins getting into the hospital. I don't want this particular goblin getting into the hospital. The others seem to be doing pretty well at dying. All right, we've now sealed off that entrance. Right, we will then permit access to the hospital again, just in case it's necessary. I presume the hospital has a supply of doctors still. Yes. So ideally, someone would come along and actually diagnose this patient. Right, good. Someone is coming along to diagnose the patient. Good, good, good. Right, so we have temporarily sealed off access to the fortress entirely from the outside world. It looks like someone has walked into our extra weapon traps that we left there in order to prevent... Ooh, look at this. You will observe that this is a goblin pikemaster clambering through the open space above the bridge where... above the bolt thrower access bridge. I don't think they can do much with this, but I'm impressed by their gumption. Like, where are you going to get to from there? You can get into this area, but I don't think you can get anywhere from there. So there's still like engineers and such in there, which worries me a bit. I think, are you running away or did you just dodge? I think you just dodged, didn't you? Oh no, you're actually sufficiently injured, you're going to rest. Okay, that's probably good, because I think we need this goblin bowman to have some more difficulties with weapon traps. Like dying on one, that would be an excellent way, yes. No, you're really not. No, no. Scholars, now is not the time for scholars to turn up. I should have put a dog leg of some sort, maybe I still should actually, possibly not right now, into this corridor, because there is a door that's meant to stop people seeing the goblins, except that obviously someone has carried a crossbow bolt as far as the doorway, opened the door and gone, ah, goblin, and dropped their crossbow bolt, thus jamming the door. So we should arrange that you naturally can't see the goblins rather than that you just happen to be unable to see the goblins if the door's closed. So yes, because as it is, anyone walking across this room goes, ah, goblin, which is not helpful. Right, let's wait until we get someone else staffing this bolt thrower and then we can try adjusting settings again. Right, the Goblin Pikemaster is now climbing down. There's a quantity of engineers here and I'm not quite sure what they're doing. Like they could break through there, but it won't gain them much. I think there are currently no goblins in the Barbican. Oh, no, the trolls have built a bit of floor here and then a staircase down. I don't quite understand why, because I don't think that actually gains them anything. Like, there was a nice ramp and they've decided to replace it with stairs. They're just gratuitously making it wheelchair inaccessible or something. Right, there's now some new staff for this bolt thrower. Right, it's being reloaded. Let's wait until it's reloaded. Then I mean, since the next thing has a bit of delay on it. Hang on. I think this blind cave ogre miner is now digging into the Barbican from the side. Right. I think fairly shortly we should reopen this access route so as to encourage the goblins into the Barbican. But I'm not going to do it quite yet because I think we want to wait for this blind cave ogre to get killed, because they're currently digging through that wall. Oh, the door closes again now because someone's picked up all the spare crossbow bolts. Let's just have a quick wander around and check for other bits of surprise engineering that might be happening. Looks like someone has been happily shooting more people out here, or more invaders, more goblins mostly. Yep, there they go. Sorry, did you have a nice battering ram you were trying to bring? I'm afraid we've shot you. Okay, the cave ogre appears to have given up on coming in that way. There's a troll here who is busy having problems with siege, with weapon traps, and has now died. So the blind cave ogre started digging through this wall and then stopped, and has now picked another bit of wall to dig through. Like, that does seem to be most of where the engineering effort is going on. Slightly worried about where that lot are going. So are you actually going to make it through the wall this time? It is confusing the way that ogres look like pillars. Like, we've got a legendary siege operator just behind that wall waiting to shoot you if you can come through it. Just looking to make sure they aren't taking some other route in. I think they're pretty confident about how they want to get in. But like, the moment you step forwards into that new space you're about to dig out, they're very slow compared with dwarven miners, aren't they? Don't think I'm worried about... Oh, right. Are you going to come forwards? No, you're going to run like hell. Okay. The miner has definitely decided that being inside the fortress is not good for them. Right, so where are the enemies now? Like, the siege is still officially going on. So I assume... Oh, right, no. This is the point at which I would want to press the button that says release the hounds, because we're down to 4 goblins. Probably 4 reasonably well-armed goblins. But they're very slowly carrying their battering ram off the map. I think that's what they're trying to accomplish. So I'm not quite ready to declare the siege to be over. But I think we should probably start on some kind of clean-up, if only to say... load that bolt thrower and then leave it alone, because bolt thrower siege operators that siege operator is quite unhappy. So once you've finished loading that, you can leave it. Yeah, that was a fairly scary experience, I expect. And you should go to hospital once you've finished loading that bolt thrower. Indeed, possibly I should release you from loading that bolt thrower and let someone else work on it. I mean, I think you should go to hospital, personally. But I'm not going to complain if you go to bed instead. You need a cabinet in that room. Yes, that does mean that someone is going to come and deliver some furniture while you're asleep. I mean, we probably don't actually need someone on the other bolt thrower, but they're not so unhappy. I'm feeling a little paranoid until the siege is officially over, but it's going to take a short while for these guys to actually get off the map. Especially if they keep zigzagging. Yes, the unhappiness has vastly increased. But we still have all 99 of them. No one at all died on our side in that siege, which is quite nice. And once the siege is over, they'll probably feel a bit better because they'll all get a happy thought. Yeah, well, you don't actually have a combat log, despite being unhappy about experiencing trauma, so I'm not quite sure what you're on about. I mean, if we sent someone out to kill this bunch of goblins, then we could probably finish the siege quicker, but... Are they lost? Are we going to have to send someone out to kill them just because they can't work out how to get off the map? See, this is why we want to release the Hounds lever that sends 50 odd war dogs out to just annoy them to death. Looks like they are heading back towards the main entrance. I thought I'd set that one to reload rather than fire. Let's suggest abandoning the Barbican bolt thrower because it's getting smelly in there. So they do seem to be coming back. I'll let them walk. If they're quite close to the entrance to the fortress now, if they get within range, then we should be able to dispatch them pretty quickly. Okay, no, they're going away again. Right. Board now. Right, we need, in order for this to work, to open the inner drawbridge. No, not that one. That one. Which means that I do want, ideally, someone manning the Barbican bolt thrower so that it doesn't, just in case someone gets into the Barbican. Right, then we want to summon everyone who's any good. And say, where are those goblins? I've mislaid them. Right, there they are. Kill everything in this rectangle. maybe a bit inefficient, but okay, it looks like they're going out through the demolished right, that was fairly swift. And like the situation is a bit better because everyone should now be feeling triumph. Right. That's technically the end of the siege. The entire front half of the fortress smells horrible. The mayor has mandated construction of some bracelets. So let's ask ourselves to do that. And now there's going to be a lot of repairs. But it is also 20 to 1 in the morning, which is not the time to start those kinds of repairs. So I am going, at this point, I think, I'm sorry that the mayor will not get an awesome magnetite bracelet. They're getting one made of bone because that's convenient. I mean, we could grant the mayor the magnetite bracelet as a symbol of office, I suppose. If they like bracelets, then maybe we should. Let's say that, what's it called? Usenatol ginondesis. Claire says, nah? Why nah? Because it's about growling or something, it ought to belong to a dog. Yes, but we can't give it to a dog. Help truths the stern snarls. Right, okay, anyway, we should, either way, it is probably about time that I stopped for the night. And then next time, actually let's do the kind of minimal cleanup, I suppose. Let's make sure that no one is trying to fire a bolt thrower. And that's actually it, frankly. I don't think I want to start pulling all the levers. We'll do that next time. So, yes, that lot will all come back in again, and then we can repair some walls. They've left us our steel bars at least. Probably make this area a bit harder to get into because they clearly like using that as a way in. I mean, not surprisingly, really. Actually, possibly we wall it off here and then put fortifications here, so that if they break in through there, they just get shot. Yeah, I think the fact that the front drawbridge is closed will make it fairly clear that I need to do some work. Also, I'll leave it focused on the front door where everything is still an utter mess. Right, actually no, maybe we should have it there, which is an obvious place where things are terrible. Right, anyway, it is far too late, and so I'm going to press a sequence of buttons to save and say good night. Good night.